We're going to have some little weights. We're going to use little weights, 2 pounds or 3 pounds, and maybe have a block, and we'll start lying down on your back. Take some stress and strain out of your back if you've been up and about today. Let's start there. Okay. Right, Mr. Kitty Puppets? Ah. So Shavasana or constructive rest. So you can have your feet up, or you can have your legs extended. Where do you feel that you get kind of the most letting go, or just here for a couple of minutes? Sometimes if there is tightness in the hips or tightness around the lower back and the abdominals, so it can sometimes feel a little strenuous in the sacrum or in the lumbar spine. Sometimes this feels a little more neutral, just with your feet up in constructive rest. So let's just start here. Close your eyes. Bring attention inward. Bring attention from its habitual attachment to the outer, to the inner. Take 2 or 3 more breaths. Just give yourself a moment of quiet here to draw attention inward. Begin your practice. Just with some attention to what brings you here. And let's bring your feet up to stand on the floor. And then from there, just bring your left knee up into your left hand. And then straighten the arm so that your knee goes away from you a little bit. And then pull the knee toward your chest. Just to feel the lower back, what happens around the area of the left lower back. Exhale, knee toward you. Inhale, twice more. Good, and then put both feet on the floor, put the left foot back down on the floor. And then bring right knee, right hand. Exhale, right knee toward your chest. Inhale, let it go. Or extend, don't let go, but just extend the elbow and then bend the elbow to knee to chest. Once more. Good. And then set that foot back down And then just pause and take a breath with your 2 feet on the floor. And then let's grab your weights. So we'll start again on the back. Start easy, right? Where we're just really just isolated into what we can feel in the arms. One or just a small muscle group here lying down on your back. And let's start with a little tricep flexion. So we're going to extend the elbows, but start with your elbows at 90 degrees, holding your 2 weights, palms are facing each other. Then you just go from 90 all the way open. Elbows right over your shoulders. Let's do 3 more. And then bring the weights to your collarbones, elbows out wide on the floor, and then straight up again. And feel the weight, feel the control, both on the pushing up and on the pulling down. Toward you and away from you. Two more. And then bring the weights down along your sides next to your hips. Take a breath. And then we'll take those weights all the way up and over your head. And all the way back down. Let's do 6 like this. And again, look for right the action here, what's happening on the way up and on the way down. Where you have to keep some control. Right, to keep this constant, to keep the speed or the rate of your movement constant. And then we'll add a little push of the feet and a lift of the hips. So like the dynamic bridge pose, keep doing the same thing with your arms, holding onto the weights, and take a breath. You can inhale or exhale to come up, maybe inhale. And exhale. 5 more. And 1 more. Good, and then set the weights aside and let's come up with the legs, cross right ankle over left ankle, bring your hands together behind your head, hold your head and your shoulders, your upper back up off the floor, but with your elbows wide and your gaze straight up at the ceiling, right? So kind of let your head rest, so you're not kind of using your neck to keep your head lifted. And then from there, you're just tilting the pelvis toward you. 10 little bitty movements, then recross, uncross, and recross, opposite, left ankle to right. And then let your head come down, let your feet come down. Just pause here and take a breath. We'll come back up and just repeat that one more time. Legs back up, right ankle over left, lift the head, lift the upper back, pull the whole pelvis toward you. And then switch the cross. And let the feet come back down to the floor, and then extend the legs all the way out long, arms over your head, hook your thumbs together. Long stretch, feel that in your belly. And then go wide with your arms. Bring your feet up, your knees in. Drop knees to the left, look to the right. Hover, 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 hover. Exhale, back to center. So use inhale, use breath to rotate, breath in to rotate, and exhale to come back. Look in the opposite direction of your knees. You can add that. Go as far as you can toward the floor without actually letting go of the legs. Use as much of your arms as you need to. You've got your wide arms. Using that arm on the side where your knees are, legs are, helping to bring those knees back in. Let's do 2 more to each side. We'll finish this round and do 2 more to each side. Last one, unbend your knees just a little bit, go a little longer. Bring your feet to the floor. Pause here again and take a breath. And bring your arms down alongside you. Feet on the floor. Bring your feet a little closer together. Bring your feet up where they touch, unless that's uncomfortable, and then you can just have a tiny little bit of space there between, but closer than hips distance, close together. Take a breath in, push your hands into the floor, bring your hips up, and then lower back down. 2 feet together. Lift the hips. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower the spine, lower the hips. And notice, if you can, just where you feel the locus of effort in your back, in your legs, in your hips, and your back. And then go out a little wider. Just take like maybe 1 toes apart, 1 heels apart. Maybe your hips distance, maybe you're still a little closer than that. Take a breath in and come back in. Push your hands, push your arms down. You don't have to come up very far. Just feel how this changes where you feel the effort of the lift. I'm doing some training, a little mini training on yoga, back strength, breath. Combining that with some other, following some teaching around mindful strength that uses weight, so just throwing a few things in here together, a little stew of practice today. And then just go out a little bit wider, maybe hips distance, maybe slightly wider. Breath in, push your hands down, lift your hips. And just feel how and where that changes what you feel as you engage the back body to come up. Do just a couple more. Push the hands down and lift the hands and lift the arms. Yeah, all the way back down. Stand your 2 feet, even with your hips. Let the arms roll away from your sides. Take a breath. And then let's come onto your side, right? So we could just slowly make your way up from there. Come to a seat. Have your weights handy, any comfortable seat. You can sit up on a prop if that's more comfortable, just for your back and your hips. We're going to take the weights. We're going to have them right over the shoulders, your elbows in. You're just going to push them straight up. Just resist straight up, and nice and controlled on the way down. Six more. Try to go to 12. Last 2, right? I'm going wide elbows, palms facing forward. Start to get a feel for this. When you come back down with your weights, kind of your weights even with your ears, pull your elbows back a little bit. Engage into the upper back, into the rhomboids, the space between the shoulder blades, squeeze. Let that go. Set your weights down so you can come onto your hands and your knees. You're going to inhale, gentle cow pose. Just take this however you take this one in whatever way feels good, right? So if sometimes going into that deep flexion is bothersome or strenuous at all, you can just take the barest little bit of movement here. You can even just be on the exhale, more extended spine, and you can just press back. It might feel good just to drop your head and open the space between your shoulder blades. Maybe you're engaging through the abdomen, but without like too intense, too serious tilt of the pelvis. I can already feel some of the action right there at the tops of the traps and the rhomboids. There we're kind of isolating into that upper back and back of the shoulders with the weights. Let's do one more. Take one more breath. Move in a way that feels good. You're gaining some mobility, playing with your own mobility here. All fours. Let's take the left leg, weight straight back behind you. And then you're going to inhale, pull the knee and toward the chest. You don't have to round up unless it feels okay in your back. Round up knee to chest. And then go back with the knee bent and then lift the heel toward the ceiling. Just stay there, lifting and then knee level with the hip. Then lift and then knee level with the hip. Engaging some hamstrings and back of the hip. Stand if you need to, you'll know if your hamstrings tend to Charlie horse or spasm. One more. Breathing, extend, knee to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, right? Feel free to press back, come off your hands if you just feel like you need to come off of your hands at any time. It's good to come off your hands in between sides. Come back when you're ready. And then you'll just go straight back into the left leg. Inhale, knee to chest. And then straight back with the knee bend. Up with the heel. Up with the heel, navel to spine. Once more. And then come down and then take hips back. Back to heels, maybe forehead to the floor, come off of your hands. Okay, and then one weight. Back onto your hands and knees. One weight, and recall this pushing up with the elbows wide. Try to keep some sense of the arms being a little bit more toward the back plane of the body instead of here. Okay, you'll be on your hands and knees with one weight. And then a little bend in the elbow. And try to pick up your arm so it feels like it's level with your shoulder. And then just push it straight overhead. And then come back. Six more. Let's try to go for 12. And when we're taking these weights, when we're trying to hold these weights while also being in the horizontal plane, spine in the horizontal plane, where this is a lot harder in the shoulder and the arm, you can drop down to a lighter weight if you have lighter weights handy, a 2 pound if you're using a 3 pound, a 3 pound if you're trying to use a 5, which is nigh impossible. And then right arm. Four more. Oh, yeah. And then come down, drop your one weight. Your one weight come off to the side of your space, and then just roll through your shoulders. Ear to shoulder, chin to your chest, ear to your shoulder, chin to your chest. Once more, each side, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then downward facing dog.
So you might be feeling, you might feel just kind of honing right in on that little area at the top of the shoulder where we were just working. See if you can turn your armpits more toward each other. Like you're trying to just do a little different kind of spin in your shoulder blades and create a little more width from the side of your neck out to your shoulders. You turn your head from side to side. Take 3 more breaths. Good, and then walk your feet forward about halfway up. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring your shoulder blades back and down. Use that part of your back to slowly bring yourself up. And then let's take a wide stance, like a warrior 2 stance with your weights. Okay, and we'll do a little archery session here. So if we go wide, we start with the right foot turned out, heel turned back. You're in warrior 2 in your legs. Find the feet, find the legs. Okay, and normally, right, we just be out here holding. Okay, let's do something that feels a little more dynamic. You're going to keep your forward arm forward, and with your other arm, you're going to reach back and grab the arrow, load the arrow, and pull it back. Bow and arrow. Six. And then come up. Turn your toes in, right toes in, left foot out. Find warrior 2 in your legs. Left arm forward, right arm behind you, reach, load, pull. Yeah, and then come back in. Feet together, set your weights down. Stand in mountain pose. Just pause here for 3 breaths. Drop the arms. Feel what there is to feel. Close your eyes if you want. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your heart beating. Feel your breath moving. Feel heat where you feel heat in your muscles. Take 1 more breath. Okay, and we're going to take both weights up again. And remembering this, right? So if we were going like goalpost arms and pushing straight up, we did this on the back, and then we did single arm from all fours. We were pushing up 1 weight in the horizontal. Now we're going to be about 45 degrees, so chair pose. About here, right? But just kind of anywhere in the angle of chair pose you need to be, but so that you can kind of keep, again, this sense of your arms being a little bit more toward the back plane, behind your head almost, instead of out here pushing up, right? So wherever that needs to be, angled in your spine. But you want to be comfortable here too, right? So wherever the low spine feels supported, tuck a little bit if that feels better. Gonna hold the belly and hold kind of a little bit of action here to stabilize around the lower back if that feels stable, so that you can be here reaching up. Six more. The elbows wide and back. Yeah. Set them down. Stand in mountain pose again. Ear to shoulder. That's a lot of shoulder work. Ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Then take your weights once again, right? And we're gonna be just where your weights are close to you. So this is where you really feel the difference in the amount of work and what the load does when you're close versus away, right? If you're close to you, you can take the full range of motion in the bicep curl, or you can do close. This is helpful if you're strain around the elbow and the elbow joint at all. We can just do the half from the bottom. Full, but again, you're maintaining, right, that same rate of movement in the up and the down. So you're controlled the whole way. And I'm not even counting, I'm just going. We're throwing these in after doing a lot of what's loading up the tops of the shoulders and the upper back. And then let's go once more into tricep. So find, again, just that sort of comfortable lean, a little bit of like chair pose. Arms close to your sides, and then you're straight back, right? And you can play, right, with how far you want to be horizontal in the horizontal lifting. That's more work. This is a little bit less. If you're using heavier weights today, maybe you're more like here. If you've moved to lighter weights, this is probably just as accessible. You could do more. Well, I'm not counting here either. 5 more. Yeah, let's set them aside. Into a seat. So a little cow face pose in the arms from the seated position. So that's going to be your right arm, palm turned away from you, thumb pointed down, and then it just keeps wrapping, turning until it reaches around the back of your waist. And then just try to keep walking the hand toward the shoulder blade, toward the left shoulder blade or toward the spine. And then bring your left arm forward, right? Straight up, elbow close to you. Press the palm to the back wherever it lands. If your hands happen to come together, 2 fingers happen to touch, you can close the loop there, or use a strap if you have a strap handy, a belt. And if they don't, just press. Two more breaths. Switch the legs if you like. And take the left arm. Reach around, bring the palm up. Walk the hand toward the right shoulder blade, middle of the spine. Just take the right arm forward, like in line with the shoulder, so that when you bring it up, elbows already close to your head. Drop the fingers wherever the fingers land. One more breath. Release the arms. And then just let the hands come just next to you, loose and floppy, so you can just lift and drop the shoulders, pull the rolls. And then let's take right ear to right shoulder. And then bring the right hand up. Hand rest just above the ear. And then turn your head just so that you're looking more toward the right collarbone, toward the right chest, and then slide your hand a little bit more back. Sit a little taller. If you feel like you're kind of collapsing back, just sit a little taller in your spine. Take one more breath. Yeah, let your hand go, bring your head back up, give the shoulders a roll, and then take left ear, left shoulder. Breathe. Hand up over the right ear, take 3 more breaths. A little deepening of the stretch. And then turn the chin, just angle the head so that you're looking more toward the armpit, the collarbone, or the chest, and then move your hand a little bit more back. Sit a little taller, 2 more breaths. Yeah, and then let the hand go. Bring your head back up, roll the shoulders. You turn your face clockwise and counterclockwise a few times in each direction. And then come back down onto your back. Yeah, feel the weight of your head. Come to the floor, feel the weight of your head. And then let's take the knees to the chest again, and then just kind of pull the knees toward you as you breathe out. Knees away from you as you breathe in. Good. Once more, inhaling away, exhaling toward, and then Shavasana. And let's enjoy the full 5 minutes we have here left for Shavasana. Let's not shortchange today. Make yourself comfortable, adjust anything you need to or want to in your environment, with your lights, with your layers, sounds, all of the sensate input. Minimize sensory input. Bring attention, draw attention back. Inside, inward, inside. Sense the breathing body. Sensation in the body. Effortless posture here. Effortless becoming increasingly effortless and restful. Good. So we'll take a few more breaths here. Let's bring just some attention to the toes and the fingers. You just slide the tips of your thumbs across the tips of your other 4 fingers. Each hand a few times. Wave your left toes, wave your right toes. Bring yourself onto your side. Come on to your most comfortable side. And rest your head on an extended arm. Take a breath here. We'll come up to a seat, finish this in a seat. Take a breath with your arms reaching out wide to the sides and then overhead, just nice and slow. Feel your palms meet. Exhale, lower your palms to your heart. Close your practice here. Honor your time, honor your intention for your practice this evening. Take it with you into the rest of your day, into the days ahead until you can return to your practice space. Thank you as always for your time. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your evening.